So my name is Esmeralda Garcia with Workforce Solutions for Tarrant County. Thank you for attending our workshop, Change How It Affects Your Attitude. Miss Elma Kirkwood is our facilitator today, and in the chat box, I will include Miss Elma's email address and my email address. Feel free to reach out to us if you need assistance with anything. And if you have any questions throughout her presentation, feel free to submit your questions on the chat box, and we could go from there.
Okay.
We have another guest, so we'll go ahead and get started. Miss Elma, take it away.
All right. Hello, hello, hello. We're so excited that you all are here with us today. My name is Elma Kirkwood, and as Esme has said, she will put our information at the bottom of the screen, okay? So today we're going to be talking about change and how it affects your attitude. Just to give you a little quick just intro about myself, I was laid off back in 1990 area, and my whole atmosphere changed. Everything changed because of the fact that my livelihood changed when I was laid off from my job, okay? So we're going to talk about how change can affect you when you get laid off, quit, or whatever, okay? So we're going to open up with what is the definition for attitude. Attitude is defined as a position of the body or manner of carrying oneself, a state of mind or feeling with regards to some matter, disposition, an attitude of open hostility, okay? So we have to look at it as our attitude is defined as a position of the body or manner of carrying oneself. And I'm reading this again because I want you to picture yourself with your attitude, and then you'll be able to think about what attitude do I possess today. So remember, it's a state of mind or feeling with regards to some matter of disposition.
I'm trying to mute it, but
an attitude of open hostility, okay? So we're dealing with our mind, our feelings, our emotions, especially when we get laid off, or even if we quit a job. Maybe you quit the job for a reason and you really did like your job, or even if you didn't like your job, it still affects our mind, our disposition, and our attitude. So today we're going to discuss two different changes, okay? The first one is going to be the positional change. We're going to discuss this one because the positional change is the change where you are now. Whether you've been laid off, again, you quit, or you got fired, or whatever. Your position has changed, okay? Going from having a job to not having a job. Your livelihood being tampered with, ways of thinking, cutting back, and your attitude changes. All of this is a positional change effect, okay? So now we're looking at being laid off, all of this, quitting, whatever your position is in this, your attitude changes, okay? How does that affect you? Your attitude changes because now you got to think about money. You got to think about paying your bills, unless you have someone else that's helping you with doing that. But still, if you're used to making your own money and being able to go shopping, ladies, and doing things that you've been free to do, but now all of a sudden, this has changed. Your life has been affected. And even during the pandemic, a lot of us have lost the jobs, and some of us had businesses that we lost. And all of this changed our attitude on how we look at life now. It could be a depressive stage that comes in. We could get depressed during this time. So a lot happens with our attitude. And some people were able to retire while others weren't able to retire. So that can change, especially if you didn't want to quit work at this point in time. But the pandemic caused you to lose your job or get laid off or whatever. that will affect our lives, okay? Especially when you have children and everything changes with that. You can't go out and maybe buy things like you would like to. You can't go out and eat like you like, because everything has to be cut back now. So your attitude is changing during this time. The next one is going to be the progressive change. When you start getting into looking for a job again, going out seeking new positions, moving from the old career to a new one, transferring your job skills into another area or place of employment, moving from feeling good about yourself and leaving the past job experiences behind and looking for a good future. We need to keep progressing to higher heights. Now your thinking is changing, your attitude is changing. You're getting excited now because, hey, I can talk to myself and ask myself, what do I want to do when I grow up? And what I mean by that is, do I want to change careers or do I want to stay in the same career that I'm in now? Okay, I was a mechanical engineer. I used to work for General Dynamics, which is now Lockheed Martin, and I worked on the F-16. So when I got laid off, I wanted a new career. So I started thinking, what is it that I love doing? And my husband said that I talk a lot, so maybe I should look in talking, doing things that talk. And I ended up working now for the Texas Workforce Commission, and I do workshops because I love talking and I love doing different things. So I changed and I was able to move from my old career into a new career. Why? Because of the fact that I wanted something different. Okay. I wanted something totally different. And I ended up what? Looking at my old skills and wondering what is the new skills that I can bring to the table, okay? So now I'm looking at what skills as an engineer can I bring over to being a facilitator. And I had to think about that. And most of my engineering was like designing and doing all this, but I was still able to find some of my transferring skills, which was communicating, being able to solve problems, being able to create problems, and all of this. And I was able to get a job as a facilitator. So now we're looking at our transferring your job skills. So this is one thing you can look and ask yourself. If you're deciding to move into another career, look at your skills that you have from your other career and see if those are transferable skills that you can use in your new career. So you have to think about, what is it that I really want to do in my new career, and check your skills and see what you can do for us transferring those skills. Because now you're feeling good about yourself. Now you may have had a little time to rest, to think, to build up your self-esteem again, and your attitude start what? Changing. Now we need to keep progressing to higher heights. So now I'm motivated to move into the next step. So the next step, life circumstances. We can choose to allow life circumstances either to strengthen us or to destroy us. The determining factor is our attitude. If you change your attitude, you can change your life. Attitude is our mental and emotional response to the circumstances of life. We may not be able to change many of our circumstances, but we can change our attitude. We are in control of our attitude, okay? So life circumstances, you're losing your job, whichever way it came about, you still have to be able to control your attitude. If you're angry about how you got laid off or fired or whatever, take a breather. Breathe, take you some time off to think about it. Maybe you can draw your unemployment. If it's a reliable why you quit or where you were fired, then you may be able to get your unemployment. You would have to go through the process. But if you was laid off, then you still have some time to breathe. But remember, if you change your attitude, you can change your life on how you see things, okay? So we're going to look at the next step. Our attitudes allow us to never quit, and go after whatever we want out of life. And this is a positive attitude, the one that's going to say, I am not going to give up. I refuse to come down from the wall. I am not going to stop looking for my new career. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to get my resume in order. I'm going to prepare myself for the interview. I'm going to keep working on my self-esteem, and I refuse to quit. I'm going to start me a whole new life, and I'm going to go out there and get that job with my name on it. Because I guarantee you there is a job out there with your name on it. So let's talk about which attitude are you? We can choose to look at any situation positively or negatively. We can be either a pessimist, the tendency to look on the dark side of things, or we can be an optimist, belief that everything is ordered for the best, dispositions to look on the bright side. Some people look at being laid off or, as a blessing, like, because maybe they was tired of working on that job. At least I didn't have to quit. I was laid off. So we can look at it as positive. We can look at this as a new beginning, moving into another direction in our life. Maybe it was something that you wanted to do and you stayed on this job because was bringing in your paycheck. But now I can start with a new beginning. Have you ever thought about changing careers? Maybe this is your opportunity to change careers. So you want to look at it as a belief that everything is ordered for the best. You want to be an optimist during this time. A pessimist, you start thinking negative and you mess up all the your self-esteem. You don't want to do that. You need to get back out there, start getting you a job, start working on your new career, thinking positive, being excited, because now you have a new livelihood that's going to help you. Because most of the time when you get a career or a job that you really love, you do not work. You don't take off a lot of sick time. You're there because you love your job, and the time go by so fast. And then before you know it, it's Friday and you're ready to go back to work on Monday. Why? Because you have a job that you really love. Now, attitudes are influenced by whom? Who influences your attitude? So to a large extent, our attitudes are shaped by external influences. What we read, what we watch, who we listen to, and what we think about. Attitudes are not only influenced by what we read and watch, but also by our friends who we're hanging around. No, attitudes are highly contagious. Are we reading positive things that's going to encourage us and help us in our job search? Are we watching YouTube seminars? Are we networking with people that going to help us get this next career? Are we talking to ourselves and motivating ourselves? Are we looking at friends and family members that's going to encourage us? Hey, don't get depressed. Remember, you had a job before, you can get another job. You want to stay around people that's going to encourage you daily, that's going to motivate you. Hey, set you a time. I'm going to look for a job 8 to 5. I'm going to make sure my resume. I'm going to go to workshops. I'm going to motivate myself, and I'm going to be around people that's going to encourage me. So attitudes are influenced. So you want to make sure that your attitudes are great, that your attitudes are what? Great, because you never know that person that you meet Even in the grocery store. I even had people to tell me that they met people in the grocery store just talking to them, found out that their company was looking to hire someone and they end up getting hired. They recommended them to come fill out a resume, application or whatever. And they actually got hired because they had a good attitude. They greeted the people before you know it, they had a conversation going and they ended up getting the job. So attitudes are contagious that also go with a bad attitude. So you want to make sure that you have a good attitude during this time while you're searching for your next job or career. So does our attitude determine our relationship? Okay. Does our attitudes affect our relationship? Some people have said yes, because sometimes this can also causes divorce. Sometimes this causes us not to do well on our interviews because we have so much going on. So our attitudes can affect our relationship. All of us are involved in relationships that could stand improvement, whether it's our spouse, our children, our friends, or our work associates. A wrong attitude is the major source of relationship conflicts. Our relationship can cause us to have problems on our jobs or getting a new job. If we have problem with our relationship, it could make one not focus or concentrate in an interview. Happy relationship make an employer your day. So you're preparing yourself for the interview, you're going in and maybe something happened that morning. You have to flip back and say, no, I'm not going to allow anything to distract me from my interview today. I'm not going to allow a wrong attitude to come in. My main focus is to what? Get that job. So if something does happen, that circumstances come up beyond your control and you're on your way to an interview, you're probably going to have to stop, take a breather, and then say, hey, I'm on my way to an interview. I cannot allow this circumstance to cause me not to be able to get this job. This job or career is for me. So I'm going to go in there with my mind clear, and I'm going to interview with a positive attitude so that I can get this job. So you have to motivate yourself and focus. You have to focus on you, not the other people that's coming in for the interview. You have to focus on you and motivate you, encourage you, and talk and say, hey, we're going to do this, Elma. We're going to go in there. We're going to ace this interview. And I'm not going to allow anything to distract me. So that's the reason why you have to deal with it, move on. So yes, some attitudes will affect your relationship, but if you keep giving a good attitude, you will end up with a happy relationship. And when you get on that job, your employer will be even happier because they have gotten a good candidate to fill that position. Okay. So our attitudes determine our destiny. If we have the right attitude, nothing can stop one from reaching their limits. And I'm going to say that again because this is a true statement. If we have the right attitude, nothing can stop one from reaching their limits. You have to have the right attitude, the determination, and go for it. If you want a change in a job or career, go after it. Let nothing stop you. Plan for your future. Set you some goals. Write your goals down and then visualize yourself in those positions that you want. You want to be a manager, visualize yourself in that manager position. What entails a management? Make sure that your skills match that position and then dress the part. Visualize yourself getting that position. Never say, oh, I can't get that position because of this. Stop that. Always speak what? Life into that position. Write your goals down. Visualize yourself in that position. Your destiny is in your hands. There is a job out there with your name on it. And I tell people all the time, there is a job out there and it's waiting on you. It has your name written on it. Go and get it. Motivated. Reasonable attitudes. Number one, the pessimists complain about the wind. The optimists hope it will change. The realist put up the sail and uses the wind. So you have to ask yourself again, are you a pessimist? Or are you an optimist? Or are you a realist that makes things happen? And to end this with, perhaps the greatest discovery of this century is that if you can change your attitude, you can change your life and your eternal destiny. And I'm going to read that again. Perhaps the greatest discovery of this century, even with the pandemic, is that if you can change your attitude, you can change your life and your eternal destiny. And this is a quote, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere till you change it. So that means you have to think positive. Yes, it may be a little struggle right now to get you a job, but don't give up. There is a job out there with your name on it, okay? Now we do have different workshops where you can go into our centers. This is called the MAPS, and it tells you what each letter stands for. These are virtual sessions right now at this point. Until we get full force back into the centers, you're welcome to contact our centers. And this is our, connect with us on social media. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're there, YouTube, you can even text alert. We're there to help you to get that job with your name on it. We also have our workforce solution for Tarrant County. We are a proud partner of the American Job Center Network, and this is our website, www.workforcesolutions.net, and our phone number is 817-413-4000. You're welcome to contact us at that number, and Esmeralda has put our information in the chat box. And you can also contact us if you want us to look at your resume or maybe go over some tips for interviewing. We're here to assist you whichever way we possibly can. So if you do not have, if you have questions at this time, we are available to assist you. If not, I am so excited that you was able to tune in to our quick little workshop motivational PowerPoint. And hopefully it has encouraged you to not give up, change how it affects your attitude. It will work if you keep thinking positive, okay? All right, I'm finished. Esmeralda, if you have any comments or if anyone have a question, we're open for it now.
Thank you all for attending once again. I don't see any questions in the chat box feature, but this is the time. If anybody has any questions, you could either ask it or send it in the chat box feature.
Okay, if not, thank you all. I hope you enjoyed the job fair. Again, if you need us, we have our email in the chat box and we are here to serve. Thank you all so much.
Ms. Kirkwood,
Thank you all for attending.
this is
Yes, ma'am.
Virginia.
Yes, Virginia.
I did go through the math, which was wonderful. And then going through your attitude, it's like you say, through the COVID, so much has changed and it can change your attitude. So I picked up some more helpful tips. I've been out about a year from work too, and
Yeah.
I, like a lot of people, we suffered more than just the pandemic, death in the family and change jobs.
Yes.
So I've gone through a whole lot. So it's good to get reinforcement, which you two are reinforcement. So thank you so much for this workshop. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Virginia. All right, if nothing else, thank you all. Until we see you all again at our next job fair, but hopefully you'll have that job with your name on it or that career.